What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Contain Salt Holiday Special for the year of our Lord 2015.
Woo!
Happy Hanukkah.
Is this going to be the last show of 2015?
I mean, yeah, I'm probably not going to be here next week.
Okay.
And then the week after that is January, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's the 20th.
Oh, okay.
So basically what we're saying is
Last
this
show
is
of
the
the year.
last Twitch show you're ever going to watch in the year of our Lord 2015.
Yeah, unless
kidding.
you
You're
go back in time.
You're also home on vacation, so you're going to be watching a lot of Twitch.
No,
Get
this
away
is,
from
the
your family.
this is the last thing they'll watch.
This is the only thing they need to watch.
Exactly.
I love when you
There's no lenses in
address
this.
Draper and not your microphone. All right, I am one of your hosts, Phantom of Thorns himself, Cam Moore. On my right is the most handsome man on the internet, Jay McCowan.
Thanks for that, boss.
These aren't real.
All right, you know what?
I noticed that just
There are
now.
my driving glasses.
On his right is everyone's favorite government slave, Nick Draper.
Yeah.
Making his triumphant return
I'm back.
to the show to talk about Ace Combat
Oh
7.
my god.
100% I am. That's
It's
the only reason I'm
relevant.
here.
It is
It's actually relevant for once, so, fuck it.
It's true. We can actually talk about Ace Combat now that Draper's here. So, it is the holidays. We do have a few holiday-themed topics to talk about later in the show, but we should, plow through the news and what we've been playing, all that good stuff before we get there.
All right, hold on. Let me open up GameSpot real
hold
quick.
on.
Kappa.
Yelling.
Forehead.
Everyone posts some Twitch memes right now.
Forehead.
Tat
Caper.
5 head.
Nobody else can post that.
Caper.
So there is a party going on at the house today, so if the background noises,
So if you hear Homer Simpson...
which you certainly will.
Can't wait.
Indeed. All right, then.
Basically what we're saying is there's a reason why we're drinking, fam.
Oh, stop.
Just-
Because you're
well,
12. All right.
it's hard to sleep otherwise, so,
That PTSD hits you real hard. All right, so. Have you guys been playing anything of note this week?
Yeah. This week I actually started, I always feel like such a fuckboy when I mention,
When you play games from 10 years ago?
No, well, not exactly that, but, like, I obviously always try and keep up with the,
Spoilers, you are a fuckboy.
True. No, and that's why I feel like a fuckboy.
Yeah.
Because I always try and keep up with the PS Plus games. But then, like, you're always like, oh, what are you playing? And I'm like, well, I'm playing this game that I got for free.
Hey, I mean,
So, whatever. But I did
what came
start episode 1 of King's Quest,
Oh, yeah.
which obviously is a game that came out, like, God, the original one was in the 90s?
Yeah, but this game came out
But
a
yeah,
month ago.
this was a game that came out this year. They just released episode 2, but I'm plowing my way through episode 1, and it's really good. They did a really good job with it. I'm just getting grabbed in sensual locations, and
Talk about Undertale. We talk about Undertale a lot, chat.
I do. I love Undertale. Is personally was my game of the year.
Jay's
But,
personal IFL award
yeah.
of the year.
personal winner of the It's Fucking Lit award, but not the official winner. Anyways, and what else? I was playing. God, I was playing something else and I can't
Black
remember.
Ops.
I was playing a little Black Ops. Black Ops was something
Some blobs.
For those of you who don't know, Foodmaster's off stream didn't want to be on the show today, but he is. I'm staring at him right now.
He's our beer boy today.
I am #1 advocate for Black Ops 3.
There you go.
There you
They
go.
heard that too. I heard it in my
true.
headphones too.
There you go.
Part of the show.
You know,
God, there that train of thought. It just disappeared.
there was a game that I played that wasn't Black Ops and wasn't King's Quest, and I just don't remember.
It was probably irrelevant.
Probably. I mean, most things I do in life are
It's true.
irrelevant.
How about you, Draper? I know you're on break. You've been doing anything?
So,
Playing PS2 games?
yeah. So
RE4?
for the chat to know, my laptop bricked itself about a day before I left for holiday break. So my only electronics of note is a broken iPhone. So I haven't been playing games this week.
And a PS2.
True.
You do have a
but-
PS2, yes.
And Guitar Hero 3.
And Guitar
No,
Hero
I
2,
have
to be
Guitar Hero
fair.
2.
Oh,
You have
I-
both. I've
have
seen them
3?
both at your house, yeah.
Does he have a guitar, though?
No.
Pad?
You can play on pad.
Yeah, there you go.
So the only game I've really been playing recently has just been Counter-Strike and actually getting back into WoW. A lot of fun because my schedule's really shitty nowadays. And WoW is this great game that you don't have to be on a real schedule to play, and you have fun. Show up every week or two. Good game.
Getting ready for that new expansion coming out soon.
In like 6 months, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I am. It's fun. Gearing up. I like it.
I feel like I might give that game another shot one of these days.
Wow.
Since I'm enjoying
They're
FF14 so
coming
much.
out- So they're coming out with a patch in a little bit that's going to supposedly rebalance Arena and the 2v2s and 3v3s. And I'm really excited for that because I don't know if
I
you
love
guys know,
arenas.
but WoW is actually experiencing kind of a renaissance in terms of people streaming it. A lot of streamers are coming back to it these days.
Yeah.
Chance.
Chance is one, so to Pop himself.
Tom's been
Summit's
playing a
actually
lot.
been. Summit's been playing a bit. A few of the other big streamers that got started with WoW have been going back and playing some arenas and getting back into 2v2s and 3v3s. It's a fun game. So, if you're bored and have never played World of Warcraft,
If you can only buy one game for the rest of your life,
I mean that's
pay a subscription fee to WoW.
Yeah.
yeah, you'll be playing for a while.
Yeah.
Stormwind, here I come again. Look at the Dirty Alliance in the chat. You know?
So speaking of MMOs, unlike Jay, I've been playing a little bit of Final Fantasy 14 this
Sure.
week. Just a tad, trying to ease my way back in. I played God like fucking 10 hours a day for like 2
Burned
weeks.
ourselves out a little bit.
Burned out a little bit, but I'm trying to get back in. Leveled up a few times. Other than that, only been playing the worst game ever, Black Ops 3.
Cap
I do that just to get the eyes.
Triggered.
Literally triggered.
I've also been playing an iOS game, guys.
Oh,
That's how sad
Sif.
that is. I've been playing Final Fantasy Record Keeper
Oh.
on my cellular
Not Sif.
phone. And also Sif, but that's just like
Okay.
a constant part of my life. But other than that, Final Fantasies here and there. Seems that that's all I'm playing other than Black Ops is every Final Fantasy under the sun. But
Yeah.
we do have some exciting news to talk about this week. I assume you guys have heard. So,
I'm assuming
Guys.
it's the only relevant news.
I mean, there's a few things to talk about, but this is really what we're
Yeah.
talking about other than holiday things. So, for those of you that don't know, episode 1 of the
Yep.
Contain Salt podcast got like 8 months ago or something, even though we're on like episode 25 or something.
I think I looked at it and it was like, oh wait, no, never mind. I was looking at the date it was posted on the website. Because the website came after.
Yeah,
Yeah.
way after.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
so
like
the
a
main
month ago?
topic of our first ever show was the cancellation of Silent Hills.
Yep.
Good
back when
friend.
we talked about Konami, literally every
Yeah,
broadcast.
it was the topic for many.
We were the world's #1 Hideo Kojima podcast,
At least for the first 9 episodes, it's all we talked about. for
and
news.
today is a renaissance where we get to talk about our best friend, Mr. Kojima, again.
Woo!
So on December 15th, he has officially left Konami.
Yep.
Left Konami. And came out and did a whole big press thing and a bunch of interviews, a bunch with IGN. Lots of things were heard. Mr. Hideo Kojima himself is forming his own independent studio named Kojima Productions, like his old branch of Konami. They had to change the logo
Yep.
for, reasons. But it is very much the same studio. He brought a lot of the people that he worked with over to his new independent studio and has announced that his first game will be an exclusive, console exclusive. At least that's what we've heard for Sony's beloved PlayStation 4.
Yep.
Put out a video where he was talking with Andrew House, CEO of PlayStation, about his new game. We don't know a whole lot about it. We have a few bits and details of stuff that he's said, but no concrete evidence to where he's going with that. But great news that he is so quickly out of the gate the day that he's officially let go, founds his own studio, and announces a new project. So
Yep. Yeah, he certainly. I was reading a bunch of the stuff that was talking with him, and
yeah,
you
a lot
can
of
just
it's interesting.
You can tell how passionate he is. It really was incredible to read, and if you haven't already, check out some of the. I think there's
Yeah, I believe it was an IGN exclusive
Yep,
interview
yep.
that they did with him.
And then he also posted a like a big letter on his website
Yeah.
of the new studio. Have you seen the? I actually really like the new logo.
I do, yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
like a
medieval
skull.
knight
It's a skull inside of a medieval knight
inside of like a
slash,
spacesuit.
astronaut helmet.
It's very cool.
Yeah, and he talked a lot about what was the Homo sapiens to Homo lumens or something.
I don't know.
He
I
has
wrote-
this whole philosophical thing that he talks about a ton, and
I wrote down a few things from some of
Yeah.
the interviews that are worth mentioning.
I think that was probably the one thing that I saw that I thought was very interesting was that obviously people expect games from him,
Yeah.
and video games are what he wants to start
Yeah,
off with
and
making.
this is something that I wrote down
Yeah.
as well. That those of us living in the dream world, hoping that Hideo will get back with Mr. Guillermo del Toro to work on the canceled horror project that was Silent Hills. They've both been very adamant about saying that they would love to work together, and Kojima reiterated that again this week in one of his interviews. But instead of the strict, like, I want to make a game with Guillermo or whatever.
Yeah.
He says, I want to work with Guillermo, but it may not even be a game. It may be a film, anime, something like that. So,
Well, we've seen that before. I mean, I know that you've seen this before, but the interview with the creator of Danganronpa said specifically that he would love to get into other mediums. It's just that games was the easiest medium for him to break into at the start.
Yeah.
I'm sure that might be the case with Hideo himself.
yeah, Kojima certainly seems like more of an artist than a game designer.
Oh,
so,
certainly. Which I don't know. I was kind of when I read that, I was kind of nutting over thinking about a Kojima-made anime.
I'm sure it would be,
like-
very 80s.
Yeah, oh yeah,
But,
very.
Yeah, another poignant thing that he said, he has actually been forbidden to talk about the split from Konami. The lawyers have told him that he's not allowed to talk about that. But when speaking about the deal that he struck up with Sony,
Yep.
he said that he had reached out, or rather been reached out to by many Western companies, Sony included, or the Western branch of Sony. But he said that he has a deeper trust with the people at Sony, and he feels that is a since he sort of has made his legacy on the PlayStation. That's a company that he feels comfortable in, and he said it is the quote kind of work environment I need right now, unquote. So
Yeah.
obviously shines a little bit of light on the mystery of what happened at Konami. It obviously seems like we were very right in thinking that Konami did something
Oh yeah.
very negative. Before we couldn't tell, maybe like Kojima was an asshole and got
financially
himself fired,
oriented.
but
I imagine.
yeah.
Well, I mean, it was even up until basically the day that Kojima was out. Konami wasn't even saying that they had split, like officially with him. They
No,
were
he was
saying-
just
they
on
was-
vacation?
Yeah, he was on vacation. He was on a break.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, it's literally
Absurd.
like a a fucking relationship, and it's like we're not really breaking up. We're kind of on break right now.
Yeah.
Fucking, you're gone. You're out of there.
He's
left.
got a new girl now,
Yeah, he's already on to the next
and
one.
her name is Andrew House. So yeah, it's really great news. I'm sure we'll hear more, especially at I would think E3 or TGS next year. We'll probably get an announcement.
Hopefully.
Curious about your thoughts. A lot of people have been speculating. I just was wondering what you guys think. What do you think Kojima will be doing?
Mech Warrior.
Mech Warrior. A lot of people, like, irony aside, have been saying that that's a pretty good bet since he loves that shit so much.
I mean, there was one quote that I kind of didn't take for... I don't want to take for face value because I'm not a big mech person, but it was the... Who are the two people that he brought with him from the original Konami or Kojima
I
Productions?
do not remember their names.
It was
off the top of my
like
head.
the lead artist and then like the lead game designer.
Certainly
or something.
people we should know the names of,
Yes.
but I'm drawing a blank right now.
But one of the guys was talking about like, oh yeah, we're looking forward to working on, really focusing on like the art and the design and the the gameplay. And he said something about like mechs.
Yeah.
But like I want to believe that he was just abbreviating game mechanics.
I mean,
But some people were like, they're making a mech game.
anyone who
Boom.
knows Kojima, like, everything he does seems to revolve around robots. Like, all the Metal Gear games,
Yeah.
obviously about, nuclear robots. Zone of the Enders,
Yeah.
another game about, robots.
Yeah.
And, like, one thing that I heard a
Soundtrack.
couple of people say is since he wants to work so badly with Guillermo,
Yeah.
who, obviously made Pacific Rim,
True.
that's a possibility.
That
there
they're
could
making a
be
movie game for
Some
the
sort of
sequel.
crossover there. I don't know.
Movie game for the sequel. Calling
Movie
it now.
game.
So
I like Chat's idea that he's just making the next Gundam game.
I mean, if I can live in the perfect world, he's making that horror game right now, but
Yeah.
seems very doubtful.
He's already working with the Alice and Nerd people right now.
Oh God! It'd be like, all right, so I'm making this new independent studio. I'm going to absorb you. It's only like 4 guys.
And then also buy layers of figure.
Yeah, there you go. They're like Polish. They can't have money, right?
There's some aggressive comments tonight. We're starting off early. I actually had to talk a bit about what you said earlier about Kojima working on Mech Warrior.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that, I mean, I'm a big fan of the series. I've played 2, 3, 4 Mercenaries and all the newer ones. I even played a little bit of online. But that is a series that is very hard to actually get the IP for.
Yeah.
For a long time, the big reason there was a big gap between Mech Warrior 4 and Mercenaries and online was BattleTech, which owned the copyright. It was in a dispute between who would actually own it, because the company itself originally was with Microprose. They actually went defunct, and there's been a huge legal conundrum of who actually will get control of that, because there's the board game associated with it alongside the
Is it Mech
actual
Warrior
game.
board game?
Well, it started off as an RPG.
Oh, I didn't
It
know
actually
that.
started off as a game called BattleTech, and then it was like BattleTech with the subtext Mech Warrior, and then we got the Mech Warrior games themselves. But that's been around since the 80s.
Yep.
So
Yeah, I only ever played, I think it was 2 on the PS1.
yeah, so that would be interesting. It would be really fun to see. But I think it's going to be unlikely a little bit, just due to the fact that the IP is what it is, and it seems that the current holders of Mech Warrior Online, who have the rights to construct Mech Warrior games, are probably not interested in making a new one anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just more likely that he would do something, inspired from that.
Oh,
rather
and
than...
I can easily see that.
Yeah.
But.
I don't know. Personally, I would, I guess just thinking like Dream.
The dream scenario.
I would prefer not another like action shooter.
And like a lot of people are like, oh, that's what he does so well, and that's what
Yeah.
he's going to do. But like he said Metal Gear Solid 2 was going to be his last Metal Gear game.
Yeah.
So he's been
I
trying to get out
Yeah.
for a while, but obviously Konami has had a hand in making sure that doesn't happen. So I would assume
Yeah.
it's probably something pretty
Realistically, I mean, I was a huge fan of PT, and I think along with a lot of people, we would love to see him, immediately dive right into the
Yeah, and
horror
I
genre,
assume that'll
but
happen, but the way he's been speaking about
Probably
it, he's
not.
like, I want to work with Guillermo at some point in
Yeah.
the future. I don't know when that'll happen, so...
Yeah, but I mean, obviously, he doesn't, need Guillermo to go into the horror genre, but at the same time,
it's a good step.
but yeah, everybody likes it.
And Junji Ito was working on PT, which is
Yep.
absurd. Like, why can't they all just get together? And...
So
Bang.
That's a power trio right there.
Yeah.
all the power threesome.
Yeah.
But
What
I
happens
really
when
want-
they're all power bottoms, Jay?
Ask Jay. That was freshman year of college. 3 power bottoms, 1 house. It was hard.
That was his
Had to
first
hire.
movie. It was an independent film.
The game I'd really like to see though, it's a modern day remake of
No.
Snatcher.
Give me a-
Boom.
God, that would just
Boom.
never happen.
Boom.
Kojima would never remake a
You
game.
can have one if you want.
I don't care.
But I like that.
Like reimagine.
Snatcher 2.
Snatcher 2.
Oh,
The reboot.
God, we're getting aggressive over there.
Yikes.
Was Tricky a huge fan of PT? I hear he was. I hear he liked that a whole lot.
Kappa Claus.
So yeah,
that's-
other than that, I only have literally one other piece of news that is worth talking about before we move into like holiday stuff. But Sony, company that we know a lot about, are actually running a hashtag campaign right now. If you guys have seen this, they're actually petitioning people on Twitter to like submit what games they want to be put through on PS2 emulation.
Oh, okay.
So
In case
Vote
you guys
for what
didn't
you
see, I
want.
just rolled my eyes, but
Ace Combat.
Why?
I don't know. The whole PS2 thing is just like, there aren't any games I want. Like,
I can think
Is
of
that the problem? You're rolling your eyes because you don't like PS2 games?
no, it's not because I don't like PS2 games. It's because, like, I don't know. I feel like all the games that I wanted, that I would want from the PS2 generation, have mostly either been, like, were either HD remakes on PS3 or were, like, have been redone in some other form.
Yeah, because most popular games get that sort of treatment, but
Yeah,
this is
it-
the
so-
program for games that aren't
Yeah, no, I know.
that.
Yeah.
So, vote for Dino Stalker.
Well,
It's just me. I voted for Fatal Frame 2, actually.
Okay.
Put
I
in
can
the
see
Fatal
that.
Frame.
That's certainly gotten a lot.
So good.
I'll put in Mad in 2004.
Okay, I'll play that with you. If it that will never happen, but I
Why
will.
wouldn't it happen?
What do you mean?
I see no reason.
Stop.
And let me pay $60 for it.
Ooh, they might let you do that. They'll be like, they'll reach out personally.
Give
Listen,
me the reboot of Madden.
who makes
2004.
Madden? Who's the developer that makes Madden?
EA Sports.
Yeah,
It's
I
in the
mean
game.
EA Sports. EA Sports. they're gonna reach out to you personally and be like, Jay, you can give us $60. We'll ship you a PS2 copy of Madden 2004.
If I can put it in my PS4 and play it, then boom, I'm sold.
That's not how it works.
I can't put my 14-year-old disc in my PlayStation 4.
Hey, it's 14 years old. It should be able to be played in there.
Exactly.
What do you mean different architecture? What does that
There's
even
some
mean?
screaming.
They're both boxes.
I like the way he thinks. Wait, but they don't have box in the name. That must be why Xbone does the console
can you
so
guys
well.
just shut up?
They do backwards compatibility so well.
Because they're
Same
all
box.
boxes.
Because they're all boxes.
Well, it makes sense because the PS4 it's a little bit offset, so you can't like fit like it.
It's a rhombus.
Yeah.
Dear God, let's all just... So, guys, it's the holidays. Did you know that? He's wearing a Christmas hat.
It's Hanukkah.
Hanukkah. I didn't actually wash my Hanukkah sweater. I would have been wearing it, but I'm wearing robots today.
Well, so
But hey. So, we have a bunch of questions. We reached out on Twitter. We actually have like 8 or 9
Oh,
questions.
Jesus.
So, things to talk about. But
have
yet again, you know,
friends.
since you guys are here, if you would like to submit questions to the show, we can read them right here. That is at
See you.
containsalt.com/questions
I
to
see you,
become part
Chad.
of the show. So do that, but we have some things to talk about.
things.
A couple Christmas-related ones, or holiday-related ones, rather. Gotta be
PC here
Gotta be
at Contain
PC. But you know, a few just gaming-related questions. One of which is, it would have been nice if Turkey was here. And this is another one that I guess would have been nice if Turkey
Well,
was
actually,
here. But hey.
we do have news to talk about because wasn't the Smash thing this weekend?
Oh yeah, another
this is-
reason. See, I didn't write
We
any
need
of
our
that
Nintendo
down.
minute.
Guys.
We didn't get our Tricky's Nintendo Minute. We're all very sad.
Yeah, Tricky wasn't feeling too good today, so he wasn't in here. But Keepo Claus, why isn't Keepo Claus in here?
I mean,
They added. What is it? They added the
Cloud
Bayonetta.
is out.
Yep, Cloud is out now.
Bayonetta was announced.
Yep. Which actually
MC
it
of
was her
Fire Emblem
birthday
Fates was announced.
yesterday.
Whatever. Video game character birthdays.
Nick
So
posted
yeah,
about it.
the main character from Fire Emblem Fates was announced. I forget his name off the top of my head.
Put another Fire Emblem character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what?
Another
what is
Ike.
each one?
He's got armor, has a cape, and has a sword.
Yeah.
And has the exact.
And
same
that's it,
set.
right?
I think so.
Yeah. You know, Skype tricky right now. All right, questions. So this one comes
There's
to
your
us
Nintendo minute.
from Jackson Dennis.
Okay.
Shout out
Jackson
to you,
Dennis.
Jackson Dennis. Corden, thank you, Chet. Thoughts on Mario Maker, and what games do you guys think would work well in that style?
Huh.
So we've played
Thoughts
Mario Maker a
on
couple of
Mario
times.
Yep.
Super fun game. I'm obviously not a Nintendo kid, so I didn't grow up with Mario, so I don't have that sort of nostalgic feel towards it, but super well made, great level editor. That's not really the part of this question that I wanted to talk about.
Yeah,
I think it's
no, yeah, obviously.
interesting to think about what other games would work in this style, since it's literally just like never really been done before.
I mean, see, part of me agrees with that, but like part of me also thinks, you know, I know you obviously the series really went downhill, but I know the original one was well
Little
liked
Big
by-
Planet.
and that was the game I was going to talk about.
Well, I don't
You know.
I don't know that he. At least the way that I took this was not games with level editors,
But games were
games
series
that
based.
were series before that now are being given a level editor.
Fair.
Like
fair.
Mario was never a game about making
Yeah,
levels.
no, and I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that like
It's like,
Little
you
Big
know,
Planet-
games that are built to make levels. Sure, Minecraft.
Yeah.
You know, but like something that has been a series before that can get a.
Yeah,
you know,
Halo is a
Yeah.
With
with
the hammer editor, Forge.
yeah Forge.
I
They-
haven't
they
delved
have
into
Hammer
it.
Source, so.
I was big on Halo 3 Forge editing, but I haven't really delved.
But what is a game that you would have, or another one that already has a level editor? One of my favorite games.
One of my favorite
my
games.
memory is just shot today. I don't know why.
Jesus.
The fucking motorcycle game.
What does that even mean?
What?
Trials?
Trials Evolution.
I don't really call it a motorcycle.
Evolution came out
I
in
know.
2008.
Yeah, I know. Whatever.
I'm glad you know that.
Jay's great.
I am great, but no. I'm just saying that like that's another game that has a level editor. That was done very very well. But games that don't have one
I
currently.
mean, like, what
that-
jumps to my mind is like Mega Man.
I guess.
It's
I
just
guess,
the same
yeah.
sort of thing. You know?
Yeah, very. I mean, very.
And they
similar
did they
vein
did that for
platformer.
the Legacy collection.
Mhm.
They
really?
they had they didn't it wasn't like fan created, but they reached out and they had a bunch of different
They had
people
people make
design
them? Okay,
levels for a thing.
interesting.
Like I know our boy Colin Moriarty made one for the
I'm trying to think of
Legacy
games
collection.
that aren't platformers that are that breaks outside of the realm of.
it's harder, you know.
It is hard. It is hard. Like
They all sound like, it sounds like a very Nintendo thing to me. Like, I
Yeah.
think Mario Kart would be cool. Making your own tracks or whatever.
Yeah, that'd be really nice. That'd be really interesting to see because I'm sure people would go very deep
Ham.
in those tracks, and that would be very cool.
Actually, I don't know why I was. So I have two things.
Crash Team Racing.
Two things in mind right now. First was the genre is as dead to me as I can possibly believe it. But
Great.
music games. What if
You can do that.
in,
That's been since, like, Guitar Hero World
Well,
Tour or
what are
whatever.
you looking for to make tracks? 'Cause,
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Oh,
I
is that-
know.
Yeah, you can make tracks.
Oh, can you
like,
really?
The old ones. I don't know if you can in the current gen ones, but you could in, like, Guitar Hero World Tour
I know
or
that
whatever.
in
Oh, okay.
you can.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
It was
Yeah.
really cool.
I
played
was
one
kind
of
of thinking of also the Osu, how you can like build.
Yeah.
Well,
beat
yeah,
maps
then
and
just play
stuff.
audio surf.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
you go.
true.
Like that's
Yeah, of course.
that's my go-to. I want to listen to an album and my
It's
music,
called now I'm
audio
getting
surf.
called out in chat. It's called Osu.
Osu and audio surf. There.
And the other one was I was thinking game that is coming out that is very unlike anything. I guess probably the biggest similarity would be Halo with the Forge, but Doom, right?
Yeah.
Because Doom is doing a whole level editor.
Yeah, it looks really good.
It
too.
does look
Yeah.
good.
I'm
So,
actually
like,
super excited for that.
That's kind of, I guess, when it comes to like level editors and stuff, like what I'm looking forward to the most. Because I can't really think of any other genres that really.
It's hard,
It is hard.
Like,
Um,
most
It's hard
games
to
I
make-
play
well,
are
it's hard to put
story-driven,
an easily accessible layer on top of like
Yeah.
I mean Valve has put out the Hammer editor, which a lot of people have used that. I've used it, but it's a somewhat obtuse system. So if you're not too
If you're
deep
not a
into this-
developer,
yeah.
Yeah.
So like
One's
putting that
scary is
extra
fun,
layer
too.
on top to make
It's
it
hard.
easy
It's hard
is
to make it
definitely difficult.
user-friendly to people that don't know,
Yeah.
how development kits work or whatever. Like, if you could just be like, oh, and this game comes with Unity for every game ever, but people don't fucking know how to
Yeah,
use
people aren't
Unity,
going to be like, oh,
Yeah.
great, I have Unity.
Yeah,
Now I can do it.
exactly,
Well, no,
Yeah.
not really, but
But, oop, I'm hitting the mic again.
I think the answer to your question is we like Mario Maker. We think it's a cool game. Obviously, a lot of fun. I really enjoy watching people play it, and I think the question to whether or not we will see more games like this is going to come down to the complexity of the game itself, and then whether the developers will devote the time necessary to make that that custom level editor as accessible as Mario Maker's is. Because obviously, it's very easy to make Mario Maker levels, very easy to put them out there. That's made the game flourish a lot, but that's obviously a lot of work and hard to maybe replicate for games that are more complicated.
I kind of also see it though as also, and I don't want to be like the whole negative Nancy about the whole
You
thing.
always
but
are.
Like, yeah, I am, and it's one of those things that like sometimes I question how much of it is like open world. Like every single game is just like how much can we cram the open world buzzword into our
Yeah.
game. And look at, for example, Fallout 4, where they're like, "Oh, well, now you can build your forts and everything," and it's
Yeah, I don't know that level editor is really a buzzword nowadays, though.
Uh,
And people don't buy games for level editors. They bought Mario
No.
Maker because it's a Mario game,
yeah,
not because
and,
it's a level
and
editor.
I think
They're
more,
not buying Doom for the level editor.
No,
I mean, maybe we are, but most
And I
people
agree
aren't.
with that. I think Mario Maker is so different from most other games because it's not a game with a level editor.
It's a
packed
level
on.
editor with game.
Exactly. It's a game that is a level editor.
Yeah.
So it kind of takes it to a different level. But I'm saying more on the level of like looking at Fallout 4 and just being like, oh look, you can build everything, and it's kind of like a lot of games are kind of shoving that in as an add-on, just for hey look, you can build things in our game.
Yeah.
Because everyone's trying to be Hizzy or whatever, where you can
Imagine
craft
trying
things.
to be a broken game.
Yeah. Well,
So I like to call it thank you, Noheim, but also earlier
That's
someone
aggressive,
said
dude.
someone said, "Oh, there's someone new here on the stream replacing Jose," and I just want to say, I am pretty sure I've been on the stream more than Jose, and the first 9 episodes include me. So go watch that 18
Wow.
hours of content
I mean-
if you
YouTube.com/c/fan with Lawrence.
go there.
Anyways, moving on.
Skate on subreddit.
We should.
Oh, wow, that's aggressive, but okay.
I'm trying to get past the memes, guys.
oh no!
So
Please just
many
read all the
memes.
memes. Please
Ask
just start
the
from the beginning
memes.
and read all the memes.
Feels
There was a really
Santa
good one in the
Man.
beginning.
The one about
Stop.
the robot.
We haven't gotten to that one yet. These are all from last week.
Oh, okay, okay,
All right, so this comes from our good friend Cole
okay.
Nilheim in the chat. Hello.
Hey guys.
Hi, Noheim. We're here for you.
And this is sort of a question that I don't really need to answer, but I was hoping that Jose and Jay could answer it. But obviously, Draper's here.
Jose.
He can play Jose.
I'll pretend.
Cole new to the stream,
Okay.
doesn't know a whole lot about what we play, and he asks, "Do any of you guys play the Persona series, and/or are you excited to play Persona 5? And I mean this as a real question, not as a meme.
Don't meme me.
Yeah, well,
Please
we
don't
won't
meme me.
I
Well-
very obviously am very excited for Persona 5.
I
I've
mean-
played all of the recent Persona games. A little bit of 1 and 2, but I never finished those.
Yeah.
But I'm super hyped. My most anticipated game of the year. But I'm curious about how you guys feel. So I know Jay has played at least some of Persona 4.
If you watch the JRPG series,
Yep.
can
There you
see
go.
him play Persona 4.
That had never got made because Jay never finished the game.
What do you mean never got
What?
made? Wow. See, this is why I said don't meme me. I have played about 20 hours of the game, and I like it. It's a good game. And I'm certainly excited. And I will definitely buy Persona 5, and I will definitely play it. Like it I don't know. It captured me, but it also didn't. It to grab me for 20 hours is a good thing. I don't look at that as a bad thing.
I mean, Call of Duty's grabbed you for like fucking 9 days.
I don't want to talk about that.
You know,
But I also can't turn my brain off when I'm playing Persona.
it's
in
true.
my opinion.
It's an active
so,
game, I agree.
it's an active game where I actually need to think. But I certainly want to finish. I feel bad because I'm kind of at the point where I'm just like, I could watch the anime much quicker, and I kind of want to, but
Persona 4 Golden animation?
God, don't watch that one. That one's awful. Watch the original.
yeah, I'd watch the original. But so I don't know. I am excited for Persona 5, and I will certainly buy it, and I will certainly play it, and I really hope it captures me, even more than P4 did. But
I find it hard that if
P4
Persona 4 didn't
can
capture
me,
you, that
Persona 5
P5
probably
will. I mean, and the only, like, you haven't played P3,
Mm-hmm.
but like the stark difference between 4 and 5 is that 5 is going to be a lot more like 3 than 4 was.
And how is that?
3 is like an inherently really dark game, and I don't want to spoil
Is it
the
more like
ending or
SMT?
whatever. Yeah, it's
Okay.
It's not the one where they blast themselves in the fucking head.
Yeah, in order
Yeah,
to
you
invoke
shoot-
their
you kill
personas,
yourself,
you shoot
yeah.
yourself in the face,
Yeah.
and like I don't want to. The ending is very dark. I don't want to spoil it or anything, but and yeah, it's much closer to Shin Megami Tensei because this was before Persona was like really a household name. Like the first 2 games didn't do fantastic, so SMT was sort of their namesake, and they're like, let's make this next Persona game, but we'll make it more like our other games so that people will like it. And then that was a smash hit, and they made Persona 4, which is sort of like bubblegum, happy all the time.
Love 4 minute.
And, like, the whole thing revolves around a murderer, right? The Persona 4 story revolves around a serial murderer case,
Yep.
as opposed to, like, a world-ending event. It's just, my small town has a murderer in it. And
Slice of life.
From what they've said about Persona 5, it's a lot more... like the tension is higher. It's a much bigger deal, and it's a lot closer to the Persona 3,
Yep.
darker style of game than the Persona 4. Lots of J-pop. But have you played the games, Draper?
Well, so I have an interesting experience with Persona because I never actually played them, and part of that is because I got a PS2 very late in the cycle, almost less than a year actually before the PS3 came out.
Yeah,
So-
not to
and I
mention
also-
even Persona 4, I believe, released after the PS3 was already out, so not a lot of people
I
got
didn't,
it.
I also wasn't too cognizant of what was going on in gaming, so like I did not really know what was going on. However, I have read the Persona 3 manga, and I've watched some of the Persona 4 anime, and I very much like the art style. Very much enjoy a lot of the series. Actually, my first girlfriend loved the series, so she talked to me a lot about it. But I know a lot about the story. I know a lot about the things going on with it. I like it. I'm definitely going to be playing Persona 5, but just for the chat, that he's not my first girlfriend, so don't.
Oh.
No, just his current.
Gotta get that out there.
He certainly beat me to it.
Realistically, though, I'm excited for Persona 5. I'm going to
Quick
play
on
it,
memes.
having never actually played because I actually got spoiled by the story for the ending for Persona 4 much before I would even come to play it, and so I probably
Sad.
won't ever play it
Yep.
on my own.
It's hard when a game is so predicated on a mystery. When they give you the end of the mystery,
Well,
it's kind of hard to
gonna
be
honest,
motivated.
I definitely watched the Heme Daisy shorts. Which
That will certainly ruin the entire game. Yep.
Well, it ruins it, but it's also a great.
It's a
time.
very good way
Like,
to ruin it.
I'm actually very fine accepting that as the ruining it. So that's my experience with the series. I'm gonna buy 5. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna see what it's like. From what I've seen of 4, looks like fun to play, but we'll see when I get it.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of
Definitely
people
devote time to
that haven't played it and are like, they think it's a little bit too little too late at this point to play P4, and I can understand that, especially if you don't have a Vita, because playing Persona 4, like the PS2 game, certainly
Yeah, I'm not going
is-
to dig up my PS2 and play it. I'll say
Yeah.
that.
I mean, Golden is, the only way to currently play it, and the only place you can get that is on Vita. And not a lot of people have the best console ever. So, All right. Moving on. People are insulting us in the chat. Oh, man. This is like the worst question form ever. We'll go through Jay's meme because he wants it so bad. Name Robot Fuckboy submitted a question. Hi, he says. Jay is really pretty. Just wanted to let you know. Happy holidays.
That's not a question.
Thank you.
We're not going to answer that because it's not a question.
Thank you, Robot. All right. This is God. Cole's sending us all the questions.
All right.
Oh, so it's just
This isn't even really a question. Come on, guys. You guys better exchange gifts. I know this isn't a question. Why?
well, okay.
Apple 1, 2, 3.
Let's not talk about this year's gifts,
All right.
but we will say that last year we were lucky enough to go to.
No, my gift was ass.
Well, which one did you get? I'm talking about the sweater exchange.
Yeah.
the Rob
Do you
sweater.
remember the sweater that Jay got?
It was just you. Okay, so
I don't want to make things too inside baseball
No.
for people that don't know.
Okay, so what happened was last year we went to go on a ski trip and had some fun, and we had an ugly sweater exchange. I got Cam a nice little Jewish holiday sweater, nice teal one.
I'm not wearing it today, but I do indeed have it.
I got some a nice lederhosen sweater, and
I got
our
a
friend
drab brown V-neck sweater
our friend Rob.
that had absolutely. Don't even explain the joke because
Okay.
it was a bad joke.
Well, it's Rob always wears a similar sweater, and the sweater looked a lot like Rob's sweater.
This
so
is
that
so
was-
inside
who Rob
baseball.
is.
Nobody
I know.
cares, guys.
Ah,
Please, let's all just breathe and move on. I got Jay a gift. It won't be here until the end of January.
Yeah, so we will exchange gifts, but we'll be doing it like Valentine's Day.
And we certainly will not be streaming that or whatever, because
could.
why won't you stream the gift exchange?
Hey,
Odd.
Valentine's Day is my birthday. I get the gifts.
you heard it here first, folks. All right, moving on. We have a real question.
All right.
From our favorite chat scum.
Oh, me?
Izzy, the festive
Yeah.
hipster, submits a
What
question.
festive?
But
What festive?
festive. Thoughts on this is really just a question for me. I don't even know
Alright.
that you guys have seen this. Thoughts on Jump Festa, KH3 trailer, and the return of both flow motion and shot lock commands. How do you feel about
No
that, Jay?
thoughts on any of that.
Trailer was really good. I was excited to see more. I'm not a big
No
fan.
comment.
I'm not a big fan of flow motion.
Great question.
Shot lock's
Send us
fine.
more.
I'm excited. It looked really good. I'm excited to see more. I'm glad that they're actively showing us stuff for that game rather than keeping us in the dark for a decade. Thank you, Square Enix. So, I mean, I wasn't a big fan of flow motion. I hope it doesn't dominate the game like it did in Dream Drop, but excited.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the trailer. Did not blow me away, but, God, it is so loud downstairs. Parties.
Hashtag parties, boys.
Moving on. That's a meme?
Dude, is that My Chemical Romance?
Probably.
Call SETI.
I wonder how loud it is.
Yes.
I'm sorry, guys, for the loud party downstairs. We are,
I'll check it out for you.
All right. Next question comes from somebody who's a better dancer than Jay McCowan. Our friend Kieran from New West Games. Go check him out on Twitter.
We'll sponsor you when he's big.
The dream. And this is actually a Christmas question.
All right.
Which is
Cheer,
good.
boys.
So he asked, what is the best Christmas-themed game of all time? And that's a hard question because there's not a whole lot of them.
Wow.
He says, P.S. If the answer isn't Christmas Nights on the Saturn, you're wrong.
Hold on.
I have not played Christmas Nights on the Saturn.
I need to figure out the name of this.
I don't think I've ever seen a Saturn. That's my answer to this question.
I mean, it's hard to, like, there's not a whole lot of just...
Just solid Christmas games that aren't just
I mean,
one-off
there's
jokes,
like
yeah.
themed Christmas levels or whatever. And I mean, you guys know me very well. Obviously, from the last question, I would immediately point to Kingdom Hearts 2 with the Nightmare Before Christmas. Christmas-themed... Oh, God, I can't talk. Christmas-themed level
Okay.
as opposed to the first game where it was Halloween themed. But the second one is
I mean, I've only played the
Santa,
first Kingdom Hearts.
Sora.
I think.
Talking is hard, guys.
I mean, even if we expanded that to like the best Christmas level, I'd be hard pressed to think of one that stands out enough for me to be like, oh, that's the best.
There was a Christmas level in Gex 3, Enter the Gecko, on the PS1.
Yo,
No doubt.
That
on
game
one.
is fucking nice. Go check that out.
Dude, I'll bow to that as an answer. I certainly can't tell you.
Gex 3, Enter the Gecko, Christmas level. It's very good.
games had Christmas levels except for Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, it's not like a super popular thing to have Christmas levels in your games, but...
I imagine if we played more Flash games, we could give you a better answer.
And
but-
you know, I'd like to expand this to maybe an easier question to answer. Not really best Christmas games, but best Christmas game experience, I guess. Because everybody has one, right? Like you got X game for Christmas, and you remember that memory super fondly.
Orange Box.
Orange Box.
100%. So my parents were very much so against me like playing video games for a long time.
Oh, really?
And they did not like it. Realistically, they didn't really know much about it. I mean, it was more my mom than anything else, but that's fine.
All those people on Fox News who think video
No,
games
she
make
watched
serial
Fox.
murders.
I mean, realistically, my parents are old.
You know.
They've never experienced this.
Lovely people.
They're great, but the first time they actually sort of were like, yeah, gaming. They bought me the Orange Box because
Oh.
my friend David was like, apparently they'd asked him and he had recommended it, and the Orange Box, for which if you don't know, was Half-Life 2, Counter-Strike Source, TF2, back when it wasn't free to play, and two other games I don't remember. Portal. Yeah, okay.
And
also when it wasn't
both
free to
the
play.
episodes for Half-Life 2.
Okay, both the episodes. Yeah, so it was a great box. It was like $40 for
Mhm.
all 5 of those. So that was awesome when I first got that.
And I assume you played it on the
Yeah,
PC
was on
where
the
it
computer,
should
on
be
the PC,
played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was my first that was probably my favorite Christmas experience, was just getting that and being like, oh my god, because I'd seen it and it was actually it'd come out maybe 2 months prior, so super excited for that.
Yeah, I didn't get that till really late, but I was a big fan of the Orange Box. Sadly, I played it on console,
Same.
where, I mean, most of those games are really good and worth the money, except for TF2 on console.
can
TF2
we-
was dead.
Yeah.
Question: can we have a game of Counter-Strike Source on console sometime between us?
We can play Go. Source isn't on console, but
So Go is on console.
yeah.
Okay, I didn't realize.
Yeah.
I had never
Yeah.
looked at
The Orange Box on console doesn't have Source in it. It's missing
the
it.
Orange Box on console doesn't have Source in it?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
doesn't have.
It doesn't have
Counter-Strike
Counter-Strike Source.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's just
sense.
the one part that's different, because obviously they couldn't really move that over.
Yeah. It was
Um,
just Half-Life.
I mean, I have a couple stories. Jay, does anything come to mind for you, or do you want me to just let you think?
Yeah, let me
Fester.
think. Let me fester.
So there's two that specifically come to mind for me, and it's like one traditional, I'm a little kid, and this instantly comes to my mind, and there's another one where I was like, I don't know, a freshman in high school, but I always remember it very fondly. But so I guess we'll do the high school one first. So, God, freshman in high school, don't have a lot of money, didn't have a job. I mean, I had like summer jobs, but this is, the winter time. And I remember very specifically 2 games that I was really excited to play that had come out, like a month or so before, was the original Dead Space, a game that I love a whole lot,
Oh, yeah.
and Left 4 Dead on consoles. Also a great game. So just whenever, Left 4 Dead less so, but whenever I think of Christmas, actually every Christmas, I try to go back and I play Dead Space. Because for whatever reason,
Classic
it
holiday
is a
experience.
very holiday themed game for me. Even though there is no holiday anything in that entire game, but it always reminds me of winter and snow and stuff. But the real classic, everybody, I got this when I was a kid or whatever. Back when I was, God, I think like 9 or 10, I don't remember. 2002. Did not have a PS2 yet. I was at that point in my life, when you're a little kid and you don't really pick out your own games, or at least I didn't. I just had games at my house, and my parents would buy me stuff, but I didn't really know what kind of game I would want. So just because of the way I'd grown up, I was a big Crash fan, a big Spyro fan, obviously, like most people who played on PS1, because those games are fantastic. Chat. So I remember distinctly opening a game, opening the PS2 Crash. God, what is it called? I don't know, fucking Wrath of Cortex or something.
Mm-hmm.
The PS2 game that wasn't that good. But I was like, Mom, this is a PS2 game. I don't even have a PS2. And, you know, my mom being the great actor that she is, and me obviously being 9 years old, was like, oh, well, shit. I
You can't put that in your PC, kid?
Obviously not saying it like that, but, oh, man, I fucked up, son. I'm sorry, but we'll have to go return that to the store. And I was like, all bummed. I was like, oh, fuck. So I get through all my presents. God, if only I was swearing like a truck driver when I was 9 years old. So I get through all of the presents, and in the back there's this very, very heavy box. And I'm like, ooh, God, what is this? And I open it, it's my PS2 or whatever. I'm like, yay. But, and then I remember playing Crash, but I fucking barely remember that game because it's bad. The other game that they got me, I'm sure I've talked about this on the show before, the other of the 2 games that I have for my PS2 when I first got it was the original Kingdom Hearts. And this is before, like, I hadn't even played, you know, like, any of the good PS1 RPGs, because obviously I was, like, 9 years old. I hadn't played, you know, Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, Wild Arms, whatever. Good games. But, so this was my first real RPG experience, and I remember playing it on Christmas Day when I was 10, and just my fucking mind was blown. Super fun moment for me, so that's another game that I try to play this time of year. I usually actually just play Kingdom Hearts 1 on Christmas Day. Because
can I
like
share a little memory that triggered of playing RPGs?
Sure.
One of my first memories with video games was my parents had bought me a PS2, and there weren't that many games for it that we had, and, you know, we only had like a Madden game.
You bought it at launch?
No, we bought it really late, but we hadn't gotten anything.
Okay.
I didn't really know what games were out. I have vivid memories of renting Final Fantasy X2 from Blockbuster.
Oh, wow.
Dating myself real there.
That is brutal.
And playing it a week at a time. And just never getting past the first boss, which, if you don't know, is a giant crab about 15 minutes in the game if you're a real person, 45 minutes into the game if you don't know what you're doing.
And the game is also awful.
I wouldn't know. I've only experienced 10 minutes of it.
Yeah. Oh, man.
That's great.
Yeah. Yeah, we're showing our age. I'm
Gotta
a
get
very
that
young
rental from
boy.
Blockbuster.
I certainly have a lot of Blockbuster games.
This
A
is like,
lot.
I feel so bad because I'm like trying to think, and
You just didn't have a childhood.
I just didn't have a childhood.
So here's a quick aside while we stall for more time for Jay McCowan.
See, I think I just didn't have a childhood.
We've had this whole discussion all day today. Jay McCowan forgets anything that happens 5 minutes prior. So, like, he probably forgot doing the intro to the podcast.
Yeah.
He's like, oh shit, what am I doing sitting here?
I think I
Very
said,
much like a
I
goldfish.
said thanks for that, boss. I remember.
That was at Taco Bell.
Fuck.
All right. So Jay didn't have a childhood.
Yeah, no, like, I mean, I'm trying to think back to, like, you know, when I was a little kid, I remember getting, you know, like, a Game Boy was my first, you know, real, like, system. And then I got a PS2 when I was older. But, like, you know, I have a summer birthday. And I'm pretty sure just, like, all of the times when I, like, got video game gifts, like, big ones, like, you know, getting your PS2 or whatever, like, it was generally always on my birthday. So, like, I don't really have any really video game memories that I like really associate with Christmas. So I guess I'm just kind of a lame fuck, but
You are a lame fuck.
True. Very true.
I even have bad video game Christmas memories.
oof.
Like, so after the whole Kingdom Hearts debacle, at the time my mom was a manager at Blockbuster.
Okay.
So
Oh, man.
I literally got to play every game ever.
Yeah.
Because I just, you know, got to take shit home and keep it for months, and
Yep.
you know, the company doesn't exist now. I have a lot of games that were just never returned to Blockbuster.
Oops.
Criminal record here. But so I played Final Fantasy X. I rented
Yeah.
that from Blockbuster. Fucking loved the shit out of that game. Played like 300 hours or something. As like a, you know, 12-year-old, which is a lot of time if you're 12.
Yep.
So I heard they made a sequel, and Draper was talking about that a few seconds ago. I heard, oh man, Final Fantasy X2. I love Final Fantasy X. I can't wait to play this. So I was like, Mom, Dad, all I want for Christmas is I want this Final Fantasy X2 game, because God, I love the first one so much. And like, I remember getting it Christmas Day. They bought me the game. They bought me like the Brady strategy guide. You know, back in the day, I still have that. I could show it to you guys.
Please show me.
God, that would
I've
take
seen
10
the
years
first-
to dig out, but God, That game fucking suck.
Side note, I also didn't have a memory card at this point, so I was...
Wow.
I've literally played through the opening concert probably 10 or 20 times.
Eek.
Like,
That is
I
bad.
can...
It's a really good cutscene, though.
Yeah, it's good. It was
bad.
pretty hype.
It's
So I was
really
hyped.
good.
But then you get to the scene, and then you get to the ship, and then you have the stupid
itch
pilot
my
who
eyes through
doesn't
my
speak
glasses.
English, and it's just, it's terrible.
Yo, Pokemon Emerald.
Yeah, Pokemon.
Yeah.
Pokemon Emerald from Foodmaster in the corner. Says,
I got that game when I was like 12. So the next week I probably spent like 100 hours on it.
Yeah.
yeah, there
Final
you go.
Fantasy with no memory card. Look, dude, I didn't know what I was
The
doing.
dream, dude.
I
The dream.
was-
I certainly played a lot of games on PS1 with no memory card, just leaving the system on for fucking 10 years.
As a bad habit, I still leave my system on because I
Yeah.
didn't get a memory card for the first
We-
8 months I had the system.
we had a little experience. Obviously, Draper is in the Navy, so he's gone a lot.
Yeah.
So last time he was in
Draper
town,
Navy's
probably
awesome.
like a month and a half ago, me and Jesse Parnell, friend of the stream,
Straight
were
That was
at
longer
his
than
house.
that, I think.
Was it maybe like 2 months, something like that?
Yeah, I'd say about 2 months.
Yeah. So we were at Draper's house and we were playing Resident Evil 4. And
True.
we went to his house 2 days ago, 3 days ago, something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And he got there and he was like, "Oh yeah, guys, by the way, I lost your progress on Resident Evil 4 because somebody found that the PlayStation was on like this
Well,
week."
Yeah, my dad, like the day before they came over, was like, "Does this need to be on?" I'm like, "No."
Yeah, and so obviously we don't care about our Resident Evil 4 save at Draper's house, but it's just
His PS2's
Also,
astronomical.
5 minutes into the game,
It's
so.
astronomical that the PlayStation's been on for 2 months.
Well, it's been on for like 2 years, so.
So that was shocking, but
Hideous.
all right, moving on. We have one last question. It's sort of a poignant one. Yet again, a
Not
question that we could, have a conversation with Ghost Tricky. But since this is our last show of the year, we got a question in from probably we know who this is, but says some black kid wrote in. Hello, Izzy.
Whoa.
Some festive. What festive?
That's Taylor.
And he asks, what's in store for Contain Salt, both as a podcast and as a company, for 2016?
I'll give you the inside source, having little to no communication with the rest of these members
Alright.
of the Consane Soul podcast. We're taking a hostile takeover of Game Informer magazine.
Wow, Game Informer.
That's
That,
still a magazine?
what?
That's still a magazine?
I certainly got one 2 days ago that you can read if you'd like.
We got it.
It's under the bed.
Andrew Reiner, I'm coming for you. Is he still working
No
there?
answer to this question is I have no common communication with the actual brain trust of the Contain Salt podcast.
You know that time in Star Wars where no Star Wars spoilers, fuck off, chat, where Luke climbs into the dead Tauntaun to stay warm?
Wow, spoilers.
Yep.
That is essentially what we would be doing to Game Informer. The hostile takeover of the corpse that we will live in.
Climbing into the husk.
Climbing into the warm, dead husk of GameInformer.com.
You know, so you said the creative mind behind Contain Salt, but you pointed
me.
to me and Cam, but you really meant to be pointing to that guy over there. Who you guys can't see it on stream, but Bone Gash is sitting over there in the corner.
Yeah. Jay's
Creative
wearing his hat.
mind. Yeah, I'm wearing his hat.
But I mean, in all seriousness, we're obviously always striving to do better. Obviously, we try to put on a high quality production. God, I spend way too much money on this hobby, but obviously we can always improve. So I have a few things in the pipeline that I've been doing without the boys here for
yeah, we heard.
New Year's shenanigans that they have not yet heard about, but always trying to improve, And I'm gonna try. I'm actually probably fingers crossed going to be in a new job pretty soon, which will have me working like 7 a.m. to 3-ish every day. So I certainly, and having weekends off, thank God.
Yeah.
Which will allow me a lot more time to, put stuff on YouTube, which I sort of neglect a lot of the time. Obviously, stream more often. I really do enjoy doing this. In case you guys didn't know, there's a lot of problems, technical issues, especially since my computer is such a shit. Sort of brings me down sometimes, but I really do appreciate you guys watching the stream, the podcast. Jay and myself, obviously, Tricky on YouTube, of course. And so, we're just going to try to make more content and make it as good as we can in the future. So
I mean, we can talk about the potential move.
The potential move.
We might be moving the stream to Washington soon.
Oh, the dream.
The dream.
I mean,
Getting hired as full-time beer boy.
yeah.
Full-time beer boy.
I would really love to do the stream house, but
Oh.
since I'm going to end up in a salary man job, it's going to be harder for me to move my life, which is unfortunate.
You
but
finally got the job, so you should just move.
I should just move anyway. Yeah. Like,
I mean,
well,
side
thank
note-
you for the opportunity.
Side note,
I'm
Cam should have
moving.
had this job 2 years ago.
Yeah, I'm sure if you
Like-
guys have been watching the stream since literally it started, I probably on
At
one of the
least.
first streams was like, "Hey, I'm going to be starting my job next week." Ooh. But
there's
it actually
been some
looks like
legal
a
troubles
possibility
with this
now.
one.
So
But no, I mean, as for more future teasers, though, I will say that I have something kind of in the planning, in the workings. Which, I mean, I can go ahead and just reveal to you guys. Obviously, we're most likely not going to be here next week. My plan is for the first stream of the new year to hopefully be New Year, New You.
Oh, man. We're working
new
out.
iTunes.
That will. It's happening. It's happening.
The
Along with
iTunes
4 months out of
is
date.
is being made. Jay still gets to keep his eyebrows.
Yeah, I it is in progress. All right, I've at least started the process. But no, I am working on. I started working on new graphics, new designs. Obviously, the shitty emblem that we have down there is a very old.
God, I forgot we still haven't changed that.
We haven't changed any of it. I've been working on a completely new layout. Been working on new graphics. Been working on potentially even some, animations or something. That we can maybe even, when I point at the camera and say "roll the bit," I might actually be able to roll bits.
Oh, man.
But that's all being worked on. Hopefully, I'd like to have it all ready for the new year. But
All things we're working on, and we just want to stress that we appreciate your support. And I wish Tricky was here so that he could echo this sentiment. But obviously, I'm sure we speak for him as well. We just want to thank you for supporting. Tricky in the chat says, "I don't do YouTube anymore. He's a funny guy."
Funny. By the way, also, we might have Izzy at the seat at one point, and potentially
God.
Tricky himself, or Trixie, I don't know which.
Trixie.
play my intro.
Contains Salt West will be coming on soon. It'll be me and Trixie being like, "Who are you again?"
He's at that 4 beer point.
It's
He
true.
forgot.
Yo, Izzy, you want a summer job?
Yes, Izzy,
see.
come up here and be an
You
intern.
guys have each have both have one. He's had 4.
It's kind of ridiculous what Draper's doing right now, but yeah, I mean, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but we're always trying to improve, and I
We
hope
love you
that
guys. We
I
love
hope
you
that
guys.
you guys realize that, and we do it because we enjoy it, but we also do it for you, so we really appreciate your support, and in the dream world, we're doing this full time, and making a living somehow, and obviously, I've never been one to pander for donations, and I'm not going to do that now, but here's hoping some point in the future, we'll be big enough that we can just do this full time and be entertainers
Look at that.
instead of minimum wage slaves.
God, the dream.
Then I can actually be full-time beer boy.
There you go. Then we can hire the full-time beer boy.
In the house, I'm the guy that just runs up and down the stairs giving you guys.
Can I start Contain
Yeah,
Salt
I like it.
Northwest Indiana?
You can. Permission
Oh, that's
granted.
Anaheim.
Oh, you can. Permission granted.
Contain Salt in every state, coming soon to you.
So
Check out your local affiliate.
that is actually all we have for today.
No more memes?
No more memes. I did
The
skip
meme well
a
ran
few.
dry.
I skipped a few inappropriate memes.
Alright.
But so we thank you guys for sending your questions. Obviously, if you want to be part of the show, you can submit your questions to containsalt.com/questions, where our little box is for you to send us your memes or your questions or your topics, or if you want to call Jay and I ugly and fat, that's cool too. We appreciate that.
Just know that you only speed up the bone gash transition.
Speed it up. So, a few pieces of housekeeping that we do every week. Obviously, we have not quite a guest, but a returning host of the show, Nick Draper, here with us today.
Is he going to be punted under the gun?
He is going to be put under the gun. That's how we'd like to do it. So, every week, we do this thing called the Contained Salt Vault, where we talk about games that we love, that we think you should play. And obviously, when we have guests on, we have them submit a game to the vault, since, they're not here every week. So Draper has actually submitted a game before. I believe the first one was Charles Barkley Shut Up and Jam on the PC.
True.
Which is a fantastic game. But it has come time again for Draper to shine and tell us about an Ace Combat game.
I will not be telling you about an Ace Combat game.
Ooh.
I will be choosing another title with an extremely long name. Command & Conquer Generals Zero Hour Expansion.
Okay.
I don't know if any of you
is that a full game? Or
it's a full game.
It's called Expansion.
Command & Conquer Generals Zero Hour. Zero Hour is the
Expansion.
expansion to Command & Conquer Generals.
Okay.
I don't know if either of you, obviously, you obviously sound
I
like you
have played
haven't
Command & Conquer 3 Red Alert.
Okay. So,
That might have been the one.
Generals put a really interesting variation on, I guess, the Command & Conquer series. So obviously, it's an RTS. You have 3 races. In this case, it's like USA, China, and a very offensive Middle East race. I don't want to talk.
Well then.
Shout out to Medal of Honor, the reboot.
Oh God.
Oh yes.
Let's play as the Taliban. They all wear turbans.
So it's interesting, but what they did with generals in Zero Hour was they put in about 40 different generals and gave each of the different factions these different basically modifiers to their forces, gave them different special units, and put in a huge scenario campaign for each of the generals. So really fun game. I played a lot of this game. Really fun single player. Definitely recommend people, if you want to waste some time, have some fun with an old school RTS, Command & Conquer General Zero Hour.
It's really unfortunate that my PC is such a fucking brick. Because I actually like RTSs, but obviously you can't fucking play that shit on console, so...
I mean, when did that...
Halo Wars?
Yeah, exactly. My
I
point.
mean, wait, how old in the series was Generals?
Was that before Command & Conquer 3 Red Alert?
I believe it was after.
Okay.
But
okay.
I've never actually played any of the other Command & Conquer
Because I know,
series
like, the old
besides
school...
those two.
I know, like, the old school Command & Conquers.
Yeah.
Way back in the day.
Yeah.
I don't
exactly,
believe
like
they
OG.
share a common timeline. So I think Generals and Zero Hour are both in their own sort of universe, not with the rest of like the Red Alert or what they're doing with like.
So now, one like in my mind, one of the like highlights of the Command & Conquer series was not the gameplay, but the atrocious real life cutscenes. Did they like still have that?
Ooh,
in
they are
Generals?
so good.
They are like
Not only
Need
are
for
they
Speed
bad,
quality.
they like
they're bad
they go
cutscenes,
they aim for B movie quality.
These,
C
they
movie,
just,
C
they
movie
just,
quality.
It's a good place to aim.
these sound bites are also amazing. Like like one of the build units for China is China will grow larger. I just say that randomly every like few minutes.
That is good.
Yes.
Oh,
I
no.
like that.
So,
China
it's
will
great.
grow larger.
Oh, moving over there.
This is you're just reminding me of anybody who's played the old Warcraft games know that like clicking on the orcs, the peons,
Yeah.
have some of the best.
What's that thing that Tom always shouts from Warcraft?
With the blood elf?
Yeah, something
war cry.
Shalanore.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
Oh, you were giving
Yeah,
me shit
I was
about
literally
earlier.
shouting it like the other day.
But
We were
yeah.
talking about. Well, let's not talk about that.
Let's not get into that shit. But
I wish I had remembered that this was going to be a thing earlier, because I would have looked up all the different phrases that the different units
Oh,
say and just shouted out for far too long.
I don't know how
Oh,
old
no.
that game was, but probably pretty offensive. Is it over yet?
I wish.
We don't need it, Jay. We really don't.
Oh no, I know.
I love my show. I love my show.
My meatballs are so ready.
Shout out to Shadows of Evil. God,
To the meatballs, gentlemen.
that was that's where we can cut the show, guys.
Oh, my meatballs are ready.
Am I gonna be able to close the show, or are you just gonna look at hideous? I shouldn't have mentioned it.
Me not that kind of orc.
I'm dead. All right. Apparently, there's meatballs for somebody to eat. So
Meatballs are ready.
I don't even.
Yeah, we could have it at my house and my parents wouldn't disturb.
It's true. You're
You
right.
could also just literally go to my house and do it, and they wouldn't disturb you.
You're right. I'll
Dumplings all around.
see
too.
you then. Dumplings all around as well. All right.
When's
So
the Chinese buffet?
that is going to be the end of our show tonight. We will obviously not be back next week. I don't know if you'll be streaming this week, but I will.
Yeah, I should be on.
So Jay and I will be streaming round the clock.
TikTok.
I wouldn't say that.
Jay might stream once. But we will see you in 2 weeks in the new year. Talk about New Year's things.
It's true.
But thank you guys for watching. If you want to find everything that we're doing and our meatballs, you can go to containsalt.com for Jay and I, and you can find Nick Draper miles under the sea in a submarine.
Find me on Instagram at Nicky Drapes, I believe.
Nicky Drapes. You can call him Nicky. That's how we will introduce him from now on.
I have a Twitter technically, but I do not check it, so.
I think I've tweeted at you a couple of times. Speaking of Twitter, though, you follow me on Cam on Twitter. They're right below us. I'm going to be tweeting pictures of my meatballs.
Yeah. I'm going to be tweeting pictures of Jay's balls.
Same?
Yeah.
I just said that.
Yeah.
Why are you
Of course.
stating
No,
that?
don't worry about
All
it.
right, whatever.
It's
Anyways, you should follow us there on Twitter so that you get all those pictures of my balls.
Follow Nick Draper at Tricky
What?
Hose.
Follow Nick Draper at Tricky Jose. You'll get confused by some of the images of being a brown fellow, but it's me. I tan well.
You can tweet at Tricky Jose and tell him he's a fuckboy.
Yeah, it is.
If
He
you
is
tweet
still
at
a
Tricky
fuckboy.
Jose, you'll get me.
And then, also follow at Tricky Jose
Underscore.
which is real tricky,
Yeah.
but, that too.
Tweet at both. They both need to know.
One of them's an inactive account, and the other one is our favorite boy in the world.
God damn it. That's a
Anyways,
shame.
so God, this is a train wreck. Thank you guys for watching. As always, we appreciate your support. If, you want to see us, you can check us out on the stream.
Thanks for that, boss.
That was a very long salute. Thanks for that, boss. Happy holidays, everybody.
Yes, that is the real thing.
The Hanukkahs and the Kwanzas and
Happy Diwali.
the Christmases.
I got a crisp ass. Crisp.
Crisp ass.
Yeah.
Good night, guys.